afternoon, guys, and welcome to the 4PL Play for Fame Pulse Venture Cup September Qualifiers number 2. It is the 8th of the 9th, 2012. I am Pulse. I am joined by Spuddington. Hello.
Hello. The 8th of the 9th.
It is.
8, 9, 10. Oh, it's not the 10th month.
It's
sad
not.
Now. You ruined
it's
it.
not. If we were in America, then I would have said the 9th of the 8th, 2012. But we're not in America.
But this way it works better because it's in numerical order.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Ooh,
just get it right,
racism.
Americans. I hope Americans are the majority of the user base.
We've started this stream off well, we just lost half of them. So, the first band will be Shen, Nunu, Alistair, and obviously Shen with the global presence, always a great band. Usually see him banned most games if not picked. Great split pushing power late game. Nunu works in jungle and in the support position really well. Got the slow, massive utility to the AD carry, and bruises in general, kind of like Irelia synergizes really well, like on hit bruises. And can you really think of a bruiser top lane that doesn't have an on hit ability? Most of the competitive ones right now do.
Pretty much they have to, because sort of the point of a bruiser in a way is that they have to build very tanky, so they can't afford to build a lot of damage. So as a result, they have these damage abilities built into their kit. So yeah, typically they'll have an on hit. Rengar? I don't know. He's sort of an on hit. It's like an empowered auto attack, but regardless. Alistair and Malphite bands are basically, Alistair is just one of the strongest junglers at the moment. Like, he's so difficult to deal with. There's an extremely strong ganking jungler. Pops out of bush, level 2, kills you, pops out of bush at level 3, and 4, and 5, and just basically for the entire laning phase, he will be killing your entire team. And Malphite is a very strong top laner at the moment, who shuts down a lot of AD characters, and he basically brings a lot to the table later game as well, because he has that hard initiate, the unstoppable force you quite literally cannot stop. It lives up to its name, and now that they fixed the bugs on it. And so the next two bands are Yorick and Gragas.
Yep, Yorick is just great in lane against everyone. He wins all matchups. You can't win against Yorick unless you have great jungler presence. And you can kind of survive against Yorick. There are picks like Cho'Gath and the likes of him who can do well against Yorick, but you can't win. You can't outright win unless you fully outplay your opponent, which is kind of not what's going to happen at this level of play. Gragas, great team fight initiate or counter engage, controls the flow of the game. Like, Gragas can stop you from initiating or force the initiate on your opponents depending on the setup as well. Great synergy with a lot of picks, and we have a lot of picks coming out already very quickly off the bat. Ezreal, Sona, and then into Graves.
So Ezreal right now is probably the strongest AD carry. Previous to the last patch, they had the 3 big AD carries, and then they sort of nerfed Graves and Corki, and then they buffed Ezreal because they're stupid. I wouldn't want to say a word wrong about balancing. But regardless, Ezreal is probably the strongest AD carry by a fair way at the moment. So obviously picking him for his great poke, his great damage, great mobility, and attack speed debuff. Ooh, he does everything. And then Sona Graves. Basically, Graves is still a very strong AD carry. I think they nerfed his attack speed, so he scales up a little less well than he used to. But his early game is still extremely strong. He's very bursty and very tanky, and he's with a Sona pick, which means they kind of have an AOE composition going down in bot lane. Sona ult, collateral damage. That's a lot of AOE damage and CC as well. And obviously, Sona also gives huge poke in the lane. Lee Sin and Lulu actually is an interesting pick. But regardless, Lee Sin is obviously this really aggressive ganking jungler. Usually, he seems to have sort of fallen out of favor in terms of going top lane. Yeah, he'll very strong ganking, has huge damage and crowd control early on, and it looks like he doesn't need flash, so he's taking exhaust as well, probably. So, then it's Udyr and Rengar.
Yeah, Udyr, of course, we've said this so many times, and if you've stayed with us in the past streams, we've always been about the fact that Udyr, really strong early game, but he falls off like a rock. It's literally, you get to that point in the game, and it's boom, he's no longer relevant, because he can be kited, he still does damage if he can catch them, but that's never gonna happen because you can just kite and kite and kite. Picking Udyr like as a lower pick down in the picking order means you can't really counter pick him. He's more of a situational pick more than anything. He's not something you can just bring out and you'll be good to go. They do have the Rengar, very interesting to see. We did see Angush last week who was trying to try him out top. Bit like Shyvana, if he gets ahead, he'll stay ahead. He's very aggressive, very strong. But I don't think I know anyone who really uses it in competitive play. We have seen Black, one of the members of Black, using him in jungle, but of course he did get ahead and then it kind of fell off a bit. We will have Irelia and Morgana being the picks, and just pointing up onto the Lulu as well. Lulu really great if they have like a gap closer she can put Wild Growth onto, hit the entire team and just lock everyone down for a couple more seconds. And it's all really down to the position of the Bruiser more than anything, especially, well, coming down to the timing of Lulu's ultimate as well and her positioning, but a lot of it is synergizing with your teammates, which is difficult if you're in a pug.
Yeah, no, that's a really strong AoE composition they have going on right now. I mean, they have Irelia can jump in with the Wild Growth on her, and Morgana can flash in and Zhonya's. Then you follow that up with an Ezreal ult, and basically then it's just clean up the crew, because that is a lot of AoE damage and a lot of AoE crowd control. WinFakt obviously has Karthus and Sona, which is a fairly good answer to that, and like they've got a fair bit of AoE, but I don't think it's quite on the same level as the other team has.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Do you want to take a look at anyone's runes and mastery pages? Always nice to see how the pros do it. So
let's go for Rengar.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. Rengar, fairly new champion.
Here.
Fairly new champion. No one really has a set build for him at the moment, and we'll be taking a look at it. Standard will be the rune page name: 15 physical damage, 13 armor, 12 magic resist. Pretty standard, coming from the quintessences, that being the AD from the marks, then the armor seals, and then the glyphs being flat magic resist. Moving on to the masteries, 921. So going straight down to weapon expertise, that being the arm penetration, the percentage, initiator for the extra movement speed, increased health, and basically all the sustain. And of course, tough skin and indomitable as well, which is generally what you get in the defensive tree. I mean, you can take damage from minions when you jump out, and you really don't have to do anything about that. And we have some time for another pick. So, do you want to have a look at anyone else, Buddington?
Lulu.
Take a look at Lulu. That being from the hand of Silence. And the name is Best Support EU. We have gold for 10 plus 3, armor plus 21, magic resist plus 12. Moving on to the masteries, 1 point in Summoner's Wrath, probably for obviously the Ignite or the Exhaust, whichever he chooses to take. Resistances, hardiness from 1, 6, and 23. And then going down all the way into Mastermind, all the support things there, so wealth and greed, of course, for the extra gold income, just giving that early advantage. Anyway, guys, we're going to jump to a quick commercial break, and when we get back, we will be in-game between WinFakt and I'm not quite sure of the name of the other team, so for now, they're blue team. See you in a bit, guys. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back, guys. For the first round of the play4fame Kaostv Vengeance Cup, I am Pulse, once again joined by Spuddington. How are you doing, dude? And are you hyped for this first game of the day?
I am very hyped here. Very, very hyped. And I'm putting on a strange accent, too. I couldn't tell you exactly why I was doing that, but I was.
We probably should
that
start
is
every
how
cast
hyped
like that.
I am. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Accents, they just creep in. But yeah, right now, everyone's just kind of fanning out, I think. Yeah, so WinFakt are looking for a more kind of defensive position here, and Gemini looks like they're going for more of an invasion-oriented strategy here. They do actually have a very strong level 1 fight. I mean, they have a Morgana Dark Binding, and they have a Lee Sin Q to check bushes. They have pretty strong burst and pretty strong poke as well.
They have a lot to check bushes, yeah.
And WinFakt looks like they're kind of going on a sort of a counter-offensive. They know something's up here because they haven't seen anyone. They've taken the opportunity to ward the Wraiths, the Gemini.
Wrangler's also back at base as well, looking for the 4th pot. And I get what? They are looking for this pick. WinFakt knows something's up.
But they don't, I think they think that they'll be invading blue.
Well, they're looping round. Goats has not noticed yet. They've seen Goats, looking to follow up on this. Here comes the Blade Surge from Shaka. Kaostv also putting some pain down, exhaust out, straight onto Goats. Into the Ignite, flash goes down, first blood for Shaka 1. And Kaostv just trying to reclaim some damage on to Dub's Dread. That'll be pretty much all they'll be able to achieve. And unfortunately, that kill was on Goats, so that's going to delay his jungle, of course, Etnex and Six going to take up those Wolves. Just for the extra, basically to balance out. Usually you will go for that because bot lane's gone for the golems. But interestingly enough, Firemean, 811, and okay, they were just staying in lane while Dreads was coming in.
So, I'm actually going to say that there was a slight misplay on the part of Gemini there. In that, when they saw Goats standing there going for his Wraiths, they didn't actually wait for Dark Binding to come back up before they went for him. I mean, he wasn't going anywhere. They could have probably just waited for the cooldown and bound him in place and not risked him getting away. Although, as it happened, it didn't matter. But he's just going to be picking up his blue buff. He'll be delayed, but I don't think... Udyr is a very sort of reliable and sustained jungler. He's not going to be too concerned about having given up first blood like that. Other than, obviously, the gold, but...
and the experience. But, yeah, in general, like, Udyr is a very reliable pick, in general. Like, I just said that twice. So if you put Udyr top, you can't really do much to him. He won't lose the lane. He's a bit like Shen, he's a bit like Riven, he's a bit like Kennen. They're very stable laners. They're not going to die, or they shouldn't die, because that turtle stance is so much sustain. You just kind of have to farm against him, especially if he goes Tiger, which he usually does in lane. There's very little you can do about it, but we are probably looking for these early ganks from Udyr. At the very least, they are going to delay that from happening, so just reducing the window of opportunity where Udyr can really put down some hurt.
Yeah, and it looks like El Mupo is really trying to bully out Shaka here. He's actually using the...
Mopsio coming down bottom, he has found 6. Red buff there as well, Firemean coming in, misses the Q, but Auto Attack will finish that one off. Etnex coming in from the side, good bookshot. But he will be backing off and unable to reclaim any kills. That was a pretty smooth gank. Unfortunately, he did catch 6 there, and 6, by the way, is Steve, for anyone who's been following TMSK. I believe was their last team, yeah, and now they've swapped over to WinFakt. So he said that he didn't like the name Steve.
Pete. It's a bit of an average name, is essentially what I mean when I say Pete in a strange voice.
That's why it was great though, because it was so mundane, it was different.
Yeah, well, yeah, like, we ran across this person when we were queuing for normals, and he was just called Pete. Like,
that was
sitting
it, yeah.
next to Lord Destroyer, World of Death, kind of, yeah, and then there's Pete. Oh, what is Pete?
Yeah, I don't know, for most people won't find that funny, it's probably just weird British humour. But to us, that was the most hilarious thing. Juxtaposition, man.
Yeah. Ooh, you've been in English class.
Oh.
Alright. Well, I'm actually sort of interested in why Aurelia is... I guess she's just trying to freeze the lane there. But,
some serious pain coming onto 6 though, and Silence just put down the exhaust. Firemean coming in from the side as well, looking to do some more damage to Etnex. He's trying to get out of there, into the quick draw. Kind of stands there for a quick sec. So it's like, yeah, and then does a little swirl. Probably take more link classes.
Interesting thing about Silence's skill order. A lot of people playing Lulu will actually max help picks because obviously they think like it is both poke and shield in one skill, so why not max it? It looks like Silence is going much more for Glitter Lance, and it's going to be basically looking to poke the WinFakt bot lane from out of range. So she'll use help picks to get picks onto one of them, and then from there you can fire the second projectile. And actually it looks like Shaka
wants something to yeah, Shaka has got the ignite down. Goats wants this to happen, pops his head out of the bush, and I think he was a bit paranoid of Lee Sin potentially appearing. But at least this will be the tower. I think more than anything they didn't want the kill, they were looking just to push him out, and they go for the tower. Lee Sin will be heading up now, but that will relieve pressure from other lanes. And they're really looking for this push, looking to be very aggressive. And this is very reminiscent of what Azubu tried to do, just push down towers constantly. And looking at it, they have a very high mobility coming down to it with the Sona AoE movement speed buff. Rengar's fairly high mobility innately, and Udyr as a jungler, very fast to clear, very fast with the bear stance as well.
And Kaostv, who is everywhere.
Yeah, all at the same time.
Yeah, he ganks all of the lane. But so interesting thing about Rengar is his Q actually procs on towers. So if he has 4 ferocity stacks and he walks up to a tower, he can auto attack, use his Q for an attack timer reset, and then use his Q again for an attack timer reset after that, and it hits like a truck on towers. Like you've seen how much health that tower lost. That was without using a ferocity impact Q. It's doing something disgusting, like 3 times his normal attack damage in one attack. So yeah, he can really chunk towers down. And he probably wants to do that, honestly, against this Aurelia. He's going to be wanting to force earlier fights and push down top as hard as possible and then start roaming, rather than staying in one lane and letting Aurelia farm until she's a monster.
Yeah, and basically, if you can shut down an Aurelia early, that just delays, basically, when Aurelia's going to get to that face-wrecking stage. Generally, level 9, she gains a lot of power. That was interesting. And also that's going to follow it next all the way back to base. Oh, there we go.
Actually, Zedred was just flash ulted onto Kaostv, but couldn't quite keep it on.
Oh, ultimate's been popped by Elmuffo, and he actually jumped with the auto attack. Actually goes coming in from side along with Kaostv with the Wall of Pain coming down as well. Elmuffo will surely be taken out. Mopsio reclaiming 1 kill. Drang's Rage goes out, knocking Goats away, and they have to juke away from the Carthers. Requiem comes down as well, picking up that kill, and Shaka looking to escape from this one. He will be flashing over the wall, and Ghost does not have anything to follow up with. Already used the flash, does not have any mana, and that will be a 2-for-2 trade.
Yeah, not really the 2-for-2 they necessarily wanted though, because Aurelia is going to get stronger and stronger as time goes on. She's now 2-0, and although Rengar has kind of been winning this lane, he's now definitely behind on gold. You don't want that situation against Aurelia. If she gets to a point where she can 1v1 you, she will be able to 1v1 you for the rest of the game and win, and you will not be able to do anything about it. I mean, Rengar is a very strong duelist. He has a lot of armor and magic resist for free, and by the way, he's maxing Battle Roar rather than his Q, which is pretty much, I think, what you should be doing on Rengar. But he also has that heal. But if Aurelia just gets to the point where she just doesn't care about his damage, she'll just keep hitting him and keep hitting him and keep hitting him, and he will melt eventually. But yeah. So, Goat's just gonna push out mid, I guess, and then backed off. Major blue to Kaostv. Kaostv's gonna want to sit in mid for a long time, farm up. He's against a very passive laner in Morgana, so there's not really a lot to stop him unless Mopsy ganks him. So yeah, he's just gonna go pick up Wraiths, do all the general stuff. House cleaning, if you will.
Spring cleaning, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense, because that's generally what bears like to do. If you've been watching the Discovery Channel, you'd be familiar with this concept. And Mopsio just kind of farming in the jungle, not too much happening at the moment. They are looking to just push in, and I'm surprised Udyr, if they are looking to do so, isn't just around top more. I guess he's aware of the ward. I guess Elmuffo has the pressure to do that anyway, but Transcendent Blaze is really just a great clearing ability when she gets past 6. Fairly low cooldown, great at clearing waves. Elmuffo can push all he likes, but you can just counter siege all day. Meanwhile, Bundle, no, Lee Sin is looking to do something. We haven't seen him quite yet, and there is the safeguard. Two-shot barrage goes down. She got Duke Dance X Revolution. Oh, into the collateral damage. Ultimate pop down onto Firemean. And it should be good. I think they're just disengaging right now, but Uddy is looking to do something top. Shaka 1, potentially in a bit of trouble. He knows what's up, and this is basically going to be the push. Basically, he knows Transcendent Blades is down. He can't counter push it. He doesn't have anything to stop two-man bruisers. There's nothing you can do. But Mopsio, once again, looking to do something bottom. Speeds up by 6. Safeguard as well, looking for the Q. Good Duke. I don't think that would have reached him anyway, but either way. So goes down. A lot of damage from that power cord. More just pushing them back. Not too much you can do on a high mobility comp, and that's why high mobility is so good at the moment.
Yeah, but like what you're also seeing there is the fact that Mopsy is being drawn down there and fighting a cannon minion in the brush. But the fact that Mopsy is having to gank repeatedly down bottom is showing the power of Sona and Graves here. They are out-poking Firemean and Silence, and Ezreal and Lulu are very, very good at poking. They're extremely strong. And actually, you remember what I mentioned before about maxing Glitterlance over Help Picks? It looks like she's now putting points more into Help Picks. She took 2 ranks in Glitterlance for the early poke, and now has to swap to Help Picks.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, you had the poke early, and Mopsio does want the steal. He will not get hit, and that was a kill. It's honestly, this is another thing I'd like to bring up. Like, a kill, if you go in to try and steal as a jungler, you don't have any buffs or anything. If you die for an attempt, just an attempt at a steal, it's fine. And if you get flamed for that in solo queue, then you are in the right, basically. Because if you die, if you're at like 40 minutes and then they just finish, that's not a good thing. But if you have the chance to steal, yeah, like go for it. Because if you do get that steal, that will keep your team in the game. And honestly, a death for like an objective like Baron or Drake is 100% worth it.
Yeah, though I will say you have to make sure you actually have a chance in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
because the common mistake made is to just say, I know they're on Baron, I'm going to go around the corner blind and face check it and try and steal it.
With an auto attack.
That might work 1 time in 10, but yeah, it's very likely to backfire spectacularly, so yeah, avoid doing that.
Always good toward kids, and meanwhile, Boss of Firemean popping down True Shot Barrage, down to Revolution into the ultimate from X as well, that being the collateral damage. We have Goats coming in from the side, who is in fact a bear this game, and Requiem coming down onto the Silence, Kill go out, Shaka 1 coming in as well from top lane. Firemean trying to juke away, Goats coming back in, and he's kind of going upwards. He's seen Shaka turn his attention to him, and now he's just going to lead them on a goose chase all the way through the enemy jungle. Things are going down, he knows. Shaka knows where he's going, and Morgana coming down as well. All he can attempt to do is try and execute. At the very least, he's wasted 2 people's time. He might get the execute, though. Bear stance as well. There it is. Well played by Goats. And meanwhile, bottom Elmopo just jumping out of nowhere, straight onto Firemean. And very quick kill. He knew Irelie was there, so he might as well just match her.
Yeah, having a stealth first champion is not something you want to deal with, basically, as a very low health AD carry. I mean, obviously you didn't expect Rengar to be coming in, but then you never do. Silent Hunter. But because the thing is, he can, that whole tower wrecking mechanism I mentioned before, where he double uses his Q, basically, empowered Q, normal Q, and then auto attack, or, sorry, rotate those round one. But if he does that on the enemy AD carry who's on that amount of health from stealth, when he also has a gap closer, just suddenly you're dead. Like, it's a complete surprise, and there's very little you can do against it. And later on in the game, actually, Thrill of the Hunt, Rengar's ultimate, gets a huge amount of cooldown reduction on it.
Could be the dive mid though. Some strategy coming in, bops it on the Soul Shackles, but won't be enough. Bollers to the face will finish that one off. Bollers known for their face-wrecking prowess.
You're not supposed to aim them at the face. Them being those things which are specifically designed to be around your feet, but
you wrap it around someone's neck, that's got to hurt. Just off the flow there.
Oh.
I don't know if there's something you've tested, but Mopsio actually initiating onto Kaostv. Interesting displacement. Knock up, knock back. 1-2 combo. And Elmopo gotta be careful here, if I mean doing some serious hurt. Next will be counter-initiating with the smoke screen, and they should be out of there.
Yeah. The smoke screen is actually a deceptively powerful skill. I mean, people very rarely expect it. Like you look at Graves and you think, well, I'm picking him because he's a tanky kind of bursty AD, you don't think about the fact that Smokescreen is actually an amazing counter-initiate. I mean, if a range AD is in that smokescreen and no one is shooting at him, he can't see out. He can't shoot, essentially. So that puts him in a very awkward position. And it shuts off a whole area of the battlefield. That's what's so amazing about that skill. Like, it's sort of, like I say, deceptive, because people assume that it's just going to be the utility spell. You sort of throw it at someone generally if you don't want them coming towards you. But it's actually, really strong skill.
Yeah, it has multiple uses that people don't really think about, like Yorick's multi-purpose W goal, the counter-initiation goal, or the initiation goal, or the face-checking goal, or the vision goal. It can be many things.
Counter-initiation ghoul.
Counter-initiation goal, the best of the ghouls.
It's where you put it in front of Lee Sin Q.
You want to initiate me? No, have
Too
ghoul.
bad! Have ghoul.
Too bad, have ghoul. But yeah, you generally think of, like, going back to that point with Graves, it's like, if you compare him to MF, she has that rain of bullets, and it kind of does, like, nothing. It's a slow, okay, but compare that to Graves, you're cutting off an area of the battlefield that MF just kind of makes irritating for the enemy. It's not like something that stops them from doing everything. It's just, yeah,
it's especially bad for an AD carry, because when you're inside it, you don't know about the positioning you're in. Like, suddenly, that utterly crucial factor in an AD carry's life, which is positioning and never being out of position, because you will die instantly. And actually, Mopsy going in on goats right now.
Yeah, and Dragon Rage coming in from the side as well. Shackles will not proc, good flash, and Kaltar coming in from the side as well, has been bound. Maybe looking to zombie here. Melmupper coming in from the side as well. Bola into the empowered ferocity. Huge damage coming out. Mopsio just jumped to a minion, got kind of pop blocked as well. Spun around for a quick sec. Oh, jumped into 3 minions who just locked him in. That was
cost him his life there.
Yeah.
This is actually some very nice play here by El Mupo. He's yes, Ezreal.
He knows where he is though. Plans to queue.
Yeah. It's very, like, he's always in the right place at the right time right now. I know this is something we often say about junglers, but he's doing this extremely well as well. He's constantly sort of just appearing after a team fight, picking up kills that would otherwise have been missed. And right now you can see in his bone tooth necklace how well he's doing. I mean, he has 4 stacks on it. That's pretty good going. The nature of the bone tooth necklace is, by the way, that it does tend to build up stacks over time, even if you're only performing very averagely. But it's still a very solid, like, item, even if you're not picking it up, because it actually has a lot of AD on it at level 18. I mean, I don't know how efficient it is as an item, but it's certainly a very efficient item. But it has problems with, like, taking up multiple item slots. That's the problem with it.
Yeah, you're not really risking too much though. I definitely agree with you. By buying it, you're not risking a lot. And even if it doesn't, like, completely pay off, well, you've still got the AV from it. It's not a big deal. And yeah, it's not like the Hextech Core and Victor, which takes up a slot which is not necessarily good in the first place. And it's not quite like a snowball item, which if you don't get stacks, then you're stuffed. So, that's Shaka looking for the initiate. Good juke from the bind. Ultimate's gone down as well. Down 6 Revolution. Huge damage coming out into the wild growth from Lulu. Straight on to Shaka. Hesitating whether to go back in. Has been bound. Mopsio coming in from the side as well. And Elmopo potentially caught. Fan goes down as well. Should be picked up in a quick seg. Flash goes out. Mopsio looking to reclaim this. Shut down by Ezreal, who takes him out with the Bleak. Haltard potentially going to fall. Looking to juke back into them with the Death Form. Shaka going out. And potentially the Reckon picking up the kill. There is Mopsio's Safeguard, not going to keep him alive. 2-for-2 trade so far. Goats coming in from the side. Will get that kill onto Udyr into Lulu as well. Ezreal kind of stuck at the back, didn't want to commit. And that will be a 4-for-2 trade for the hands of WinFakt.
The reason actually that Ezreal wasn't in that fight was because of Etnex. You may not have noticed it, but sort of at the back of the team fight, Etnex came in via the enemy jungle past Wraith's camp, and he sniped off a kill there, and then kind of kept Firemine occupied. Like, Firemine was in the position where he didn't know if Graves was in that bush, so he didn't want to face check it, and Etnex backed out and was able to join the fight, but Firemine couldn't because of that bush. He had that threat of Graves, who at that time was full on mana and could have fought him very easily and killed him. So yeah, it was actually really, really clever play by Etnex.
Bit of trivia about Fire Mean is that his old name was Fire Main, and when I think about Fire Mean, I think of like, oh my god, Fair Mean. But not only that, he used to be in the team WinFakt, but WinFakt split up, and now WinFakt is TMSK, or TMSK's team is now WinFakt, basically. So Fire Mean is playing against his old team, which isn't his old team, but has the name of his old team.
What? Some things are complicated in life. I choose not to think about them.
It's, yeah, LOL, when it comes to teams and competitive teams, it's kind of funny, and Mopsy might have disconnected.
Yeah, I think WinFakt are going to leave him. Oh, no.
Nope. He's fine. Maybe just scratching a part of his anatomy.
Lovely way of putting it.
Could put a much more crude way of doing it, but...
Yeah, so I think the playstyle that Elmopo seems to be going for is pretty much he just pushes out top constantly, tries to, you know, take down towers where possible, keeps it permanently pushed regardless. And then he kind of roams mid, maybe to bot, goes for a kill, and then he goes back to top. So he's looking for a kind of split pushing approach. What he wants to do is he wants to draw people up to top, force them to commit to stopping him pushing, and then he goes somewhere else and uses that 4v5 advantage.
Goes lying in wait though, Patient Hunter straight onto Dub's Dread, coming 6 from the side. Fireman coming in as well, potentially already going to be picked up. No. Something's going to happen, something's going to go down. Zonya's into Soul Shackles, and Elmopo coming in from the side as well, popping the ultimate for the leap. Montio coming in from the side, but potentially putting himself in the bad position. True Star Morales goes down into Wild Growth. Kaostv coming in from the side as well. Wolfpain goes down, locking up the entire enemy team, forcing them to back off. Great counter initiate, and that will be one pick. Fireman actually looking to lead the charge into the hands of WinFakt, but WinFakt will not have none of it, and the counter initiation from the general mobility will keep them out of it unless they want to go for this initiate once again, catching 3 of the 4 enemy team. Mopsio potentially going to pick up. Jacka coming in from the side with the blade says jumping onto Kaostv. Squirrel goes down, locking him up for just a couple seconds. Fireman into the Requiem will be picking up the kill, stopping the Requiem from happening, and there'll still be the kill onto Mopsio, but he will be saving Ezreal, so maybe a good trade.
Yeah, well, he was aware that he was going to die anyway, I think. As I recall, his health was sufficiently low that he would have died to that Requiem anyway. So he made the decision he would go, you know, all in and try and stop it. It's very nice play, actually. I'm kind of surprised. This is one of those things that really marks out a better player, is that they keep their head in a team fight. They still know what their priorities are and what they want to achieve, so they maintain kind of like this focus where they can tell. So rather than just being like, I'm in a team fight, I'm gonna attack low health guy with everything, they, you know, keep ahead. They know when they're gonna die, they know when they need to be going all in and getting themselves killed, and they know when to back out as well. Difficult to do, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I think one of the key things I wanted to take from that was the fact that a lot of people don't know how to die. I think that's a very crucial thing. It's just like, people will die because they've been picked off, that's fine, but knowing when to turn around and trade and try and get something of it is another mark of a great player. And we've said this many times about lots of different aspects of a team, of a player individually, but it's a good example of that, basically, where you just had Lee Sin jumping in, he knew he was going to die, he weighed up the situation, and in that split second where it was like Requiem was about to hit him in the face, it was just like, well, I'm going to commit, what do I have in my kit, how am I going to finish this off, what can I do? He went for it, and he calculated that all in the space of, what, a second?
Yeah, it's, yeah, basically. I haven't got much to say to that, honestly. It's very true, essentially.
Well-founded points, my friend.
Yeah,
but
it looks like they're going for Baron right now, in fact, and
it's uncontested.
Not being contested. Yeah, they had their oracles and they cleaned it out, and yeah, just great timing push there.
Oh,
they saw
Shaka, he has been seen. Dance Extra Revolution goes out, but misses Warpaint as well. Flash goes out into the Bola, which will be rooting for a split second. That's enough to pick up the kill, and Next will be hit by the Dark Binding. Yeah, but Mopsio, trying to get out of there. And thank you, Rengar, thank you. At least someone appreciates me.
Did he laugh? I didn't
yes.
see.
Good guy, Elmopo.
And yeah, this is another example of what I said before with his kind of split pushing playstyle. Elmopo isn't with his team right now. Like, they have a 4v5 advantage. They could be forcing that top tower, but instead he's going to be pressuring mid a bit, then heading back in to join up and take that tower. Alright, so right now Etnex, Etnex is at an advantage, but so is the rest of WinFakt. That wouldn't be a bad name for team.
And the ultimate comes down, El Muffo coming straight onto Mopsio, following up onto Dreads as well. Shaka coming in from the side, Requiem has gone out immediately, picking up the kill onto Lee Sin and Lee into the Zhonya's from the Soul Shackles. Multiple kills going down, Dreads will be picked up as well. Kaostv going in from the side with the Wall of Pain. But they are just trying to kite him out at the moment. 6 will be picking up the kill, double kill for Etnex, who is still outside the boundaries of the enemy base. Kaostv just wandering around looking for the kills. Shaka wants to go in the Blade Surge, but not gonna happen. That was a 3-for-2 trade, despite them diving into the enemy base.
Yeah, that kind of shows how much of an advantage they're at now. But that was an incredibly risky dive. I mean, El Muffo put himself significantly out of position, and he died for it, honestly. But it turned out to be worth it, and Shaka actually might be, not going for the kill there. This is kind of the thing about trying to dive in on someone like Karthus, is that if you do that, he's probably going to kill you too, unless you're way ahead or he's very low on health. Because he's going to... You'll kill him, but then he will be dead, and he will still be casting spells. And odds are he's not going to miss any skill shots if you're in melee on his face.
Yeah, it becomes very, very difficult to juke. And plus the fact that he had Sona with him, so that's counter initiation, the increase in movement speed into the power chord from the slow as well. So it was not something he really wanted to commit. He could go in with the Blade Surge, pop the Equilibrium, but then what? There is literally nothing else. And Silence just very happy that a ward just appeared in front of him. So thank you for the 25 gold.
Ah, but now they've gained a vision of you. I know Muffo actually is picking out Mopsio here, but nah. He Dragon Raged him away. But this is kind of another thing about one of Rengar's strengths, is his Bola Strike. If he uses the empowered version as well as the normal version, that's double CC from single skill. It's really strong, and Shaka actually is in an awkward position here.
Look at the speed from El Muffo though, with that Thrill of the Hunt. Goes down to Shaka, he will be to speed trading off now, he can't really do anything. Randomness goes down, transcends into a Blade as well. This is a pretty slow fight though, this is what happens when you get tanks versus tanks, and Shaka will eventually be falling.
Yeah, and for all his strengths, this is one of my problems with Rengar.
Dubsdread potentially being caught into the Zhonya's from Soul Shackles. All Pain has gone down into Wild Growth as well. Etnex looking for the kill, has been squirreled. Mopsio looking to deal some damage for the kill. That will be the surrender. And Lulu not even able to pick that kill onto Etnex.
Yeah, I mean, WinFakt right there were a long way ahead. They had a huge gold advantage, and all their characters were basically capable of diving anywhere. I mean, you saw it in that fight where they dived an inhibitor turret and got away with it, basically. Just a long way ahead at that point. And yeah, obviously Graves, 6-0. Dying is for chumps.
Yeah, it was a very all-in strategy, basically. They had Rengar and he had Udyr, who basically suffer from the same sort of thing of being kited. Rengar, late game, okay, he can be kited, but then again, he didn't really deal that much damage as well. If he gets ahead, then that's what made their composition strong, because Udyr and Rengar both got strong. And it was very all-in, but when they got ahead, they kind of stay ahead. There's very little you can do about it, and it's basically whether Gemini could hang on, whether he could clutch for the chance to actually come back into it, but it just didn't happen, basically, and they couldn't really come back from it.
It is an incredibly divey composition, though. Rengar, Udyr, and Karthus. I mean, Karthus is the only sort of ranged AP mage who's going to want to jump into the middle of you, and, in fact, die for it. But, yeah, interesting composition, and it really worked out for them.
Yeah, definitely. So anyway, guys, we're going to jump to a quick break, and when we get back, we'll be looking at another game in round 2. So stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned for some more awesome League of Legends action. See you in a bit.